Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we have an amazing artist, somebody I've wanted on the show for ages. It is Yelysaveta. We're going to kick off with one of her songs. This is Explain. It's an original track. Enjoy, my friends.
Please explain. You should play the night sky. Oh, alright, you relieve. You left my hated life. What do you mean? When you told me you don't have a good answer for me. What do you mean? When you told me it was better to live without. I might leave it alone, but you know that's not my style. If I could have known I'd have made it right. You mean you lied, told me I was the one to fight, release and give it all around, but I'm done waiting here any longer. Tell me you're sorry, but it's a little late to say. What did you mean? What did you mean when you told me you don't love me no more? What did you mean? Tell me. Tell me. What does it feel like to be so high on top? Spinning around and round and round again. How does it feel to live without remorse? Maladjusted, just readjust again. Promise forever, now you're with her. Baby, I'm alright now. Tell me, what did you mean? What did you mean when you told me it was better this way? What did you mean? What did you mean? Tell me. Tell me.
Yeah, hello everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you're all doing well. It is Friday morning here in Australia and it's very early and it is the end of the week and I'm doing good. And this is How to App on iOS, the show where, you know, during the week and all that kind of stuff, we look at iOS apps, we look at music creation, we even talk mental health and stuff like that. But at the end of the week, it's one of my favorite times of the week. This and my Patreon stream on the weekend is where I get to interview creative people, talented people who may be undiscovered, people who may be discovered, and people who may be creating things that help us to create things to get discovered. What am I talking about? I don't know. That's the usual for me. But let's jump in straight away, and I want to say how I came across this artist. So I'm a member of the GarageBand users group and Create, Record, Release. And one night I was trawling the posts, but it was long before I even had this show, actually. and I was trawling through the posts, listening to people's music, and I came across this beautiful girl sitting there in front of a camera with a guitar, singing along, and thought, wow, what a voice. Who is this wonderful, wonderful woman? And I subscribed to her YouTube channel, and I think I've probably been subscribed for at least a year or so. Or like, it feels like it's been 2 years. And yeah, so her music pops up every now and again on one of those groups. And I thought, you know what? It's time to get this talented artist on and try to do a little bit of exposure. So I reached out and have her now on the show, and I can hear her sighing in the background. I can hear, but you guys can't hear. So I'm going to unmute her now and bring on, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to welcome to the channel the beautiful, the talented Yelysaveta. Hello, how are you today? Oh, where's your camera gone? Well, hang on a minute. We've had a disaster already. I spent all that time with the camera. Look at this. This is live. Look at this, folks. She's really small. Look, she's up the top corner.
Oh,
Let's fix that. How you going? I love it.
oh my God.
You're back now. How are you?
Yes, I'm normal human size.
Yes. She's not tiny, everybody. She's actually a normal size. But look, up here she's tiny as well. So let's see if I can fix this stuff. This is technology, folks. Before the show, we had everything right, and then everything went large, and now everything's gone small. It's like, how do you deal with technology and the flaws that the challenges that it gives you? Can you? Yeah.
Oh, me?
I'm diverting while I'm trying to fix it. So when you come up across technology,
Gotcha.
like, do you have look at now, it's going big again. Look at this, it's going crazy today.
Yeah, no, I'm huge. I have a story for you about like something that just happened yesterday. And I think I was video sharing for work, and it just started freezing, and I unmuted myself on Zoom and just started like nervously apologizing the entire time, so that they could see that there was a human behind. I'm not good with technology either. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like to think I am good with technology, but when I look at this, now that everything's giant
I think you
again.
are. I saw your setup, and it was amazing.
Bear has written in the chat, size don't matter. But it does when you become giant, then you become small again. So we're getting there. At least we've got these 3 cameras fixed for now. So that's cool. Look, thank you for coming on the show as well.
Awesome.
I have been wanting to have you on for a long time. I'm going to hit you with the first question that I hit everybody with. What does music mean to you? What does music mean to you?
Sure. So I think music is everything to me. I don't think there's anything in the world that I like loved as passionately and unconditionally and consistently as music. I think it's something that can raise my mood. I think it get me excited. I think it can make me calm and relax. It's like the only thing in the world that could like have that kind of, I don't know, like this is important. Like it allows us to feel possibly all the emotions that we experience in our lives. So yeah, I think that's kind of what music means to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I look at music a lot of the time and think and I say this all the time on the show, I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse. It feels like this language that we once used to communicate with, and then something went wrong and we took the wrong path, and now we talk to each other, and I don't think talking works. So. It's clearly not working. I think all of us just need to be born and given a guitar, and then the problems will be solved, I think.
I agree.
I'm starting to sound like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Next time you're going to be like, whoa, dude, cowabunga. What the hell is going on? Hey, thank you, Metalhead Hippie, for the kind super chat. That was nice of you to super chat. I've only just started, so that was nice. I better put that up on the screen. See, I've got like things I can put up on the screen now. That's cool. Do you, now, this is an interesting question because you're a lot younger than me. So I'm always interested.
Emma? I couldn't tell.
All right, you can come back anytime. No, but I'm assuming so anyway. But do you remember the music that your family would play when you were growing up, and has it affected like what you do today?
So I think the music that I like, my music taste right now is very different from my family, but I do think I was like influenced a little bit. My dad drove me to elementary school. This is a long time back. He was a huge fan of Simon and Garfunkel. So I think it was a great like early introduction influence for like 1960s, 1970s, like folk rock. So like Birds, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, Animals, Jefferson Airplane, Turtles, Joni and Cher. I don't know. It was like there was a lot of cool stuff, and I was very, yeah, like I don't know. I think that was a great like first introduction. I don't think that's the kind of music I make today. I think I developed like a love initially also for like 80s rock. I think my mom was kind of into Bon Jovi, and I think I got really into like Def Leppard, Jovi, and like Guns N' Roses. I don't like this is so different. This is like so weird to like talk about, but I think the kind of music that really resonated with me and I actually fell in love with was actually my sister's music. And I remember my sister had these like CDs with like parental guidance stickers. I remember feeling like so badass, like at like age 11, stealing the CDs and listening to them on like my crappy CD player. That was also stolen. Um, she listened to some like alternative rock and like indie music back then. She was a huge fan of the Cranberries. And I think in turn, I just became like a really huge fan of just alternative rock music in general. So like U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, Oasis, Radiohead, Foo Fighters. I could like go on Offspring, Alice in Chains, Bush, like Our Lady Peace. And I think like specifically, I think I became really interested. I think like Cranberries is a great example, but really female-led rock bands or female musicians that were in rock, just because there weren't a lot of them. I think like, so No Doubt and like Fleetwood Mac, Joan Jett, Garbage, Pink, Alanis Morissette would be like great like early examples for me, and big inspirations to what I guess the music that I do now.
Yeah, like that. So many of those bands you mentioned there that was a staple of my life. So, yeah. Well, you know,
Awesome.
I don't know. What era do you think music was at its peak? Do you have a decade that you think music was at its? Do you think? Yeah, the 90s.
I like the 90s.
It's pretty hard to beat the 90s. There's something about the 90s that was I don't know. It was like the explosion after the coke-fueled 80s of excess. And there was this rebellion of like, oh man, I'm so tired after all that coke, and now I'm just so angsty and I need to get everything out. I think it's. What do you think? What do you think about music in the last decade? I'm interested to know.
No, there's definitely I think some good. I think like that's kind of the direction I'd not obviously, but I would hopefully want to go into actually, just because I'm making music now. I think I'm really interested in electronic music. I have no experience. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But I think there's some great like. I was listening to Sugar by Jack River, like on repeat yesterday. I think Milky Chance is an awesome band. I think like anything indie rock, fusion is really there's a lot of I think like music that takes a lot of inspiration from back in the like I guess from back in the day, and I think it's really cool. Like I don't know, it's kind of where I am.
Yeah, well, you know, I remember like I don't know, I don't want to sound old and like I'm yelling at clouds or anything like that, but for me like the 90s was amazing. Like for me, lots of really unique bands came out, like Mr. Bungle and all these crazy Primus. I love all that crazy stuff, and then I don't even remember a lot of stuff that came out between 2000 and 2010 for some reason. It's like that whole period of music has been erased from my mind. Like aliens came and probed me and took away.
Really?
It's so bizarre. I don't know why. But then everything after 2010 I'm down with. So it's Bear writes in the chat the 90s are blurred for him. See, the 2000s are blurred for me. So I can't work that out. Let me ask this question. Do you remember the first album that you ever purchased?
Yeah, Joshua Tree. U2's nice. Joshua Tree. Very easy.
What a strong album.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I know.
No, it's a strong album. Hey, that's a fantastic album. Were you while we're talking about U2? Do you use Apple Music?
I do.
Do you remember
I do.
when?
I remember they gave out every Breaking Wave.
Do you remember when we all got that
Sorry.
free version of that U2 album, and everybody got it in their Apple Music?
Every Breaking
right,
Wave.
that's what it
That's
was.
what
See, I didn't know. I didn't know what it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
called
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
it took me so long to work out how to delete it because it wasn't even that I didn't like the album. I just felt I felt violated that somebody would just invade my collection of music.
Yeah.
So it was on principle that I found every way I could to remove it, and it kept appearing each day. And I'm like, no, go away.
How do you remove music? I don't even know how that like. I would never think to remove a YouTube album from my list, but
there is a way to do it. It was just weird because that particular one appeared in everyone's catalog, so there's apparently no way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think Apple released a patch they actually released a specific patch allowing you to remove the YouTube album. So that's an amazing thing.
Oh my god.
It's bizarre. Do you remember?
I was a fan, but
yeah, look, I love you too. I will always love you too. It was just principle. Yeah. Like don't get in my. It was like, I don't know, if Kylie Minogue did, I'd be super angry. But do you remember the first music that was given to you as a gift?
I wasn't given music as a gift. I don't. I think I don't know if this counts, but I was given like a piano, I guess. Like this is not. In terms of like an actual album, I was never given an album as a gift. I don't think I can get to it, but I don't think that's something I've personally. I'm open to gifts, music gifts, so if anybody's offering ever, always open to it.
Folks. Social media details are in the description. Open to gifts. Oh my god! All right, so let's talk about music. You playing music. So,
sure.
Were you always somebody who sung along to music? Did you want to sing? And did that lead to taking singing lessons or anything like that?
No. Well, yes to the first question, I guess. Like I do think music has meant everything to me for as long as I remember. I don't I haven't taken singing lessons. I don't think I didn't get started on creating music until pretty recently. I didn't have a lot of the resources and I think security growing up, and I think I still struggle with calling myself a musician today. I'm not sure if I'm like qualified yet. I'm definitely nowhere, like I'm a beginner. I'm like really nowhere where I want to be yet. So I guess if I were to provide background, like my biological parents were immigrants who struggled to get their footing when they first came here. And I think my older sister was kind of like my primary caretaker and guardian growing up. And my sister, she encouraged me to focus on school. And I think I'm like, this is like my last story. I love music. I have always loved music, but I think I felt very shameful growing up for pursuing like quote unquote like fruitless hobby, I guess, like while my sister worked 2 jobs while being a full-time student to support me. And I do think that changed once I went to college. And I think specifically the guilt of pursuing something that might not necessarily be able to put food on the table just for the fun of it. But I think I don't know, I think like the reason why I got started in music was just one day I woke up and I was like, I don't want to be 8 and like not have pursued like what I loved in my life. Like I made a decision to, I guess, enjoy my life. But I do think I was in a position where I had no connections. I didn't know any musicians. I don't come from a musical family. My friends were not musically inclined. I didn't know how to get started. I have a family that was super supportive of me pursuing music. And I think, yeah, that was kind of like from a traditional, realistic perspective, that was my footing. So yeah, music lessons were out of the question. I think like singing lessons was out of the question. I think like that was kind of, I guess, my background in terms of what happened early on.
You know, it's I don't want to like downplay this and make this like what you just told there sound like I think a lot of us who make music, you know, it's quite common that people who want to make music don't have the entire backing from family. I know my family thought I was wasting my utter time, and still to this day think I'm a talentless shit. Even no matter what, no matter what I've tried to do to say, I remember doing a gig and I was playing in front of like 70,000 people, and rang my dad to say, I'm actually about to go on stage in front of 70,000 people. And the very next thing he said was, you're never going to make it in this music thing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're a dickhead. So,
okay.
like, really? It's a hard thing when it's a part of you and it drives you so much, but you don't have that kind of support. I think I agree with Kim. Kim Hutton wrote in the chat here, you are qualified. You are qualified to make music because you're making it and it sounds great, and it's enough that I want you on this show to talk about how you make music. So at least, if anything out of this interview, you need to know that you absolutely are qualified to make music, and you're doing a fantastic job of it. We are, and what am I going to do now? So I'm going to play a track just so I can realign these cameras and see if I can sort that out, because they just keep jumping around. I don't know why. It's so weird. So let's play a track. I'm going to play, you want to tell us about this track? I'm going to play Marigold. You want to tell us a little bit about this track before I play it?
Oh, okay. Oh, sure. I'm not
I
good
know.
at all, but I do think it's a little bit more of a, it's also just like a little bit more of a sensitive topic, I guess. But I did write the song based on, I guess, like my personal experience. I did have a friend commit suicide, and I think that really traumatized me in a way that I've never experienced that, I guess, like level of, I guess, like sadness and depression. It was just something, I don't know. There's like so much guilt and so much, I don't know, like what could I have done, I guess, to prevent that situation. And I also, like, unfortunately could emphasize, like, this is something I think I had a lot of trouble speaking about earlier, but I think in my past, many years ago, I have also been in a very, very, very dark, depressive space where I think I also get to a point where I considered ending my own life as well. And I think just tying those like feelings in two words were kind of how I wanted to make Marigold happen. So yeah, that was the background behind that song.
Let's play it, and I'm going to come back and tug on that string for a little bit more. So now you've opened a can of worms. All right, guys, this is Marigold. Okay. You're going to love it. It's a beautiful song. So we'll be back with you very, very shortly. Just one moment. Let's get it going. Boom.
How to blossom, just to fly my flight. Wanna let go, gotta live it alright. Throw away my fragile life, gotta say today, giving. But tomorrow, just give up my fight. Wanna let go, wanna fade on out. When living sober is fine, couldn't last it. Why do I feel so alone? Resonate, just here for the ride. I false fate, live a stupid life. I resonate. We're just here for the ride. Eyeballs fade. No stupid life. Every day it's such an unfair fight. The drugs don't work, it only just gets worse. Isolated, I can't breathe. Abdicate my self-esteem. From miracle, thou stays the blue. Oh my, they won't fade it for reasons still unknown. Disturbs me, I promise you not alone. But miracles, I'll stay still blue. Oh my, they won't fade it for reasons still unknown. Disturbs me, I promise you not alone. Promise you not alone. You are not alone.
Wow. Jesus. Heavy. I felt every time I listen to it, I start getting upset and almost cry. And yeah, no, it's an absolutely beautiful song. There's something about your voice that's really, you have a fantastic voice. And I think that was one of the things that drew me to your music was that you write about heavy stuff. But it's sung in this beautifully angelic voice, and it really connects. So it was absolutely why I wanted to have you on. I'm going to quickly say hello to folks in the chat, and then I want to talk about how you write your lyrics and all that stuff. So let's say hello to. We've got Bear here, paying to get Kim Hardin Hudson, Thomas Christ, John Frank Songs. Who else do we have? Kim. We said to Kim Hardin Hudson, Auntie G, Jenny. Let's as I scroll and trying Gary Hubbs. Who else do I see here on my magic mirror today? Black Covers, hello to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Dragon Lady Experience. I saw Pete Johns is here as well. I think I saw, let's see, I saw Cy Effin is here as well. Always effing good to see you. Sam Chakrabarti says, hi, Yelysaveta, big fan from Boston. So there you go. You've got a big fan from Boston here. Metalhead Hippie.
I love Boston.
Derek Smith is here as well. Who else do we have as I scroll through? I'll try and get as many names as I can before we move on. We love our shout-outs. Everybody loves good shout-outs. Let's see. Set up by Marshall. Hello to you, my friend. He's coming on the show soon, early next year. Sean Chandler, good to see you, my friend. Look, thank you all for being here today. Welton Kinder, hello to you. I think I've got most people. X, hello to you, my friend, as well. If I've missed you, Russ is here too. Good to see you, Russ. Kev Hart is here as well. So we've got a wonderful, awesome, big audience here of people today. Thank you all for being here. Let's talk about how you wrote your songs, because you write some pretty heavy stuff. And, as you've mentioned, it clearly it comes from what you've experienced. Tell us, does it take how much does it take to pull such stuff out from dark places and be able to write about it like that? Like, it's
I don't want this to be the case forever. Like, I do think trauma helps. Like, it sucks to say, but I think trauma helps with my songwriting. And I think, like, it's just specifically just getting words on paper just becomes a lot easier. I think in terms of just like structurally, like step by step, how I write music is I write lyrics first, or like I write the music first, and I write fake lyrics on top of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like just words that words that kind of go like, and I think sometimes those like fake lyrics, there's like a line or so that I end up like using, but it's like super abstract and doesn't make any sense. There's usually like an idea that I'm going for, experience that I'm going for that I want to convey. And I just really reflect on that. Like, I don't know. I think like just getting words on paper is important. So I journal kind of about it nonsensically, and then I clean it up. It's like goes through many revisions. But usually like, I think usually the songs that are written the fastest, especially melody wise, are the songs that end up sounding really, I don't know, like I'm like sounding like melodically very, I like it. And I also don't I like I don't really know how to like read notes really well. So I think what if I have like a melody idea, if I have like some kind of like, or if I have like a part of a chorus or a part of like a verse or something, I just take the recorder on my phone, like the random recording app, and I record like like a really, really rough draft. And if it's still memorable to me in a couple hours, I'm like, this is something. And then I think I convey Frankenstein, like the verse, chorus, second verse together, maybe a bridge, and then put lyrics on top of that at the end.
Well, touching on what you said before the song, because I don't want to gloss over it because it's important. We need to talk about it, and I do talk about this stuff on this show. I have a Wart series, and we've done shows on depression and all this kind of stuff. And I myself have been through the darkness that you talk of wanting to take my own life, being transgender. Like the many times that I dealt with this. And I think we live in a world where we're told not to talk about this because, like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear this stuff. And this is where we fall into darkness. And thankfully we have music to do this. Do you think that having an avenue to write music and create music helped you get through that?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. I think like it's how you share. It's how you share. I think it is a taboo topic. I think suicide and depression, mental health issues are a taboo topic, and they shouldn't be, because it would be so helpful for so many people that are going through that pain, and to like understand that there's somebody else out there that has gone through the same thing. That's the only, that's how I feel. But I do think writing music specifically has been like a great outlet for me personally, there's something about getting words on paper. There's something about being able to share music in a way, share your words, share your story in a way that's like palatable to other people. That makes, I don't know, your story and memorializes your story in a way. I think everybody else has different interpretations. But I think it's really important to feel like you're not alone in those kinds of situations. If there's a way I can help with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, and Auntie G's written in the chat, oh, no, we have to talk about this stuff like this. It is too dangerous not to. I absolutely agree. It's so funny, the history of music. And, you touched on this too. You said that you wrote your best material when you're in a dark place. And that's true. I mean, anybody who's a creative type will tell you. I can't tell you how many times when I've been single and I've been wanting love and all this stuff, I write the most beautiful stuff because I'm hurting, so I desperately want this in my life. And then I fall in love with somebody and I write nothing. Like, because it's almost like I'm satisfied. And at the same time, I always would find the relationships would break up because I felt I was so content in this thing that I wanted so much that I'd actually stopped creating. And I needed this person now out of my life so I could be depressed and write good music again. How the frig does that work? It's just ridiculous. But we live in a world...
You actually let a relationship break up.
Yeah. For creativity.
Oh my God.
For creativity. Like...
I've joked about that, but I've never... I've joked about it with my boyfriend, and I think like he's been like, no, we can't break up so that you can have songwriting material. And I'm like, just for a couple of days, it would be really helpful for creativity purposes. And like, oh my goodness.
A pseudo breakup.
Wow.
No, but I think more so like I felt my creativity had been stifled. I was I think too, you know, it's not as simple as that, clearly, you know, because the person I think that I was dating didn't understand my creativity, and so it became very stifled. So when I did do it, they didn't understand it, and it was like, wow, you start to see that, you know. But it is interesting that we live in a world where music has been. It's been instrumental in change. It's been instrumental to get us through like tough times as a species, as a society, you know. And a lot of the best music has been that darker side that is really, really brutal at times. But we still seem to not be able to talk about these feelings. But in a song, we can talk about suicide in a song, and depression and anxiety. But when you speak about it outside of a song, it's like it's a crime. What are your thoughts on that?
It's why I have trouble talking about it. But I think, no, you're right. Usually, well, just because I think like music tends to be a little bit more like, I think the same can go for like a painting or an art piece, a music video, a film. When you put it in like an art, like abstract for some reason, that's okay. But if you're going to just write about it directly, if you're going to write about an experience that you've had, plain fact, you need to put a trigger warning. And that's interesting. I don't know if I have an opinion on that. I do feel like I understand the purpose of a trigger warning. I do feel like it makes sense. I think that there's some people that aren't able to, I guess, like, especially if like the situation was a little bit more recent. Like I know I only feel comfortable. I've only been able to talk about this more openly recently. And I think like I don't know. I didn't tell anybody. When it first happened. Like I remember like I would get pissed off if somebody like tried to ask me about it. I think like people knew. I actually moved schools when the situation happened initially, and I think the people from my old school were asking. This was back then, and they were like asking me, what had happened, and I just wouldn't respond. I couldn't talk about it at the time. So I do think it makes sense from like that perspective as to why people might not be super comfortable sharing it initially.
Yeah.
I don't know. No. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to talk about.
And like, you know, it's the way, and I say this too to when I have guests on the show. Hey, if you offer up a string, I'm going to pull it. Unfortunately, so, yeah. That's how I do my interviews. I'm looking.
No, I can see that. I'm so scared.
I don't bite. Let's move on to. So when you were in school, did you? Like I know it was hard to do lessons and experiment with that music as much as you wanted. God, I'm stumbling a lot today. When was the first time you were able to play music with other people? Like, have you created a band at any time or anything like that?
Oh, you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I definitely. Yeah. I think once I was in college, I think like I finally felt like I was at a point where I had, I guess, like fulfilled my duty to to working hard in school. Like, my sister also got married around that time, so I think I finally felt like I felt like my family was like in a better place. We were more stable, and I think it was like, okay, I'm gonna start my life now. Like, I'm gonna make an effort. I'm gonna pursue music, and I think like I started like the starting a band thing was like a long time coming. I think I had like always wanted to do it for a freaking long time, and I just never told anybody. I never pursued it. I didn't pursue it in high school. It was just like I learned guitar via like YouTube tutorials and like begging students on camp formal lessons. I learned that I really like playing music by ear. I started a band was basically just anybody that was willing to join. Like I was so freaking excited to do music. Like I was down. Like I literally like I had a friend go on a Tinder date with like this random guy. This guy ended up being my guitarist. So like this random guy like was just like, oh yeah, he was super socially awkward. We didn't fit. He plays guitar though, and I was like, plays guitar. And then like caught on to that, and it was so. I know, it was horrible. They did not end up dating, but like he did end up. We're still he did end up being my and it worked out. I think like I took like a random music class. I found my other like the drummer. I just put a band, like one of those like random posters up. I saw that Smashing Pumpkins like apparently did. Oh, I don't know. It's like what the old school band people did. They like put up like newspaper like stuff. Like it's how the Spice Girls were formed. Like you put up a little and I put it up in like the practice room, and then a drummer, like the first drummer that responded. We didn't tell him that like that he was the only one that responded, but he got the gig because he was the only one that responded. And I think that was kind of how, yeah, I know that was kind of like how I think like the band situation started. And I think like, especially like that was like my beginning. Like, I don't think like I barely played the guitar. I just barely, I was just not that good. I was just really excited. I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of enthusiasm. Technical ability was like, but I think like I was at a point where I just wanted to get started. I think everybody needs to start somewhere. I didn't care if nobody came to our concerts. I didn't care if we performed for a while. I think there was a pure love for music just for the sheer joy of it. And I don't think I care like what anybody thought of. Yeah, I think I do think I was able to, I think like that summer after I like found the joy of sharing music and performing in front of real people. So I did like a coffee house, and I think like I became obsessed with music. Like I kept the notebook at hand. Like I wrote songs daily. Like I shared my music with just anybody that would listen. I got back on campus. I began to take the band a little bit more seriously. Like it was like just kind of playing for fun wasn't good enough anymore. It was still there, but I think like I wanted us to sound good. And I think I became stricter with rehearsal schedules. Like we improved, and we just began to make like a little bit more of like a following. And we got booked for like a local party, like a radio show. And I think like I think that was, it wasn't like a huge deal or anything, but I think there was like a lot of, it was a good like start, I guess, if that makes sense. And I think like, oh my God, this is like, it's been a little bit. So I think we did, I was the vocalist and I'm just trying. I'm like, I'm the vocalist and I was the vocalist and guitarist. And I think something that was super, super special about the band is that I was part of a team. I think creating music on your own is very different from playing with others. And I think generally like music gives people like experiences that reaches far beyond. I think like, I think you get an experience in a lot of like many non-musical skills. I think there's a lot of discipline to being part of a team. I think you learn management skills to fit in rehearsals as a full-time student because it's important that everybody shows up. There's an amazing satisfaction in coming together as a team. You're working hard together, you're putting on the show. And I think like teamwork in a band is, it's about individual, but it's also more importantly about group self-improvement. And I do think being in a band was in a way for me, like a very, very non-tangible reward. I think there's a lot of shared experiences over time. It built relationships and friendships. I'm still friends with everybody that was in the band with. I do think you get to know people in another way, especially when people are like, yeah, it's like a negative 5-degree weather. I went to school on the East Coast, and I think it was like we were in the middle of the mountains, and it was like negative 5-degree weather. It was like cold. I'm from California. Like it was so cool. But I was like, I show up to rehearsal, and it was like midnight. And you learn to trust your bandmates to show up to rehearsals. You learn to trust them to support you so that you don't crash into them on stage. Improvise when you make a mistake. I think there would be situations where I'd just like forget an entire verse, and somebody would fill in for me. The drummer would do like an impromptu solo. It was very fun. And I remember like our first performance was December 2020, December 2019, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. Like the mics and the sound system broke. The bass guitarist got into a car accident that day. He like barely drives. Got into a car accident. He wasn't able to show up for sound check. And you learn that like people mess up, and you like learn to keep going. Like it was just kind of like you learned that like a fall. Like I fell on stage many times. It's not the end of the world. And I don't know, it was just kind of like you also get rejected a lot. I think even if you work really hard, I think it's like people have different music tastes. And like, also I think there were just periods of like good learning experiences where we were just definitely not prepared. And I think I learned to take constructive criticism very seriously, make adjustments, learn that I'm not going to make everybody happy. And I think being able to bounce back after a mistake or a setback is a very important skill in life. And I think it's a skill that develops by being practiced and experienced over and over again. And yeah, no, there was a lot of opportunities to practice in a band. And I think it's an experience that I'm so grateful for.
Passion, all right. The passion that you just spoke, I can genuinely see, like, and I just sat back here and let you go and go, because I think everybody will agree watching that then, the passion that you had then just talking about playing music with people, the whole experience. That's what it's about. That's what you live for. That's what you kill for. That's what you die for. That's what rock and roll is all about. And it was really nice to kick back and let you just express that out, because it's a hunger that you don't get to see so much. Well, I haven't seen it because I sit here in a studio dealing with people online, and to hear that hunger again, that fire that was in your belly just then talking about live music was really nice, really nice and inspiring. So this band is called Jupiter's Ocean, yeah? Now, are you still in this band, or did this break up? I guess, it's hard because of all the stuff that happened with the world.
We also graduated, but like we all graduated during COVID. And I think like COVID kind of broke us apart, and like and then we graduated, and I think we're all in different parts of the world now. So that's kind of how, like, we knew it was good. Like there was always going to be an end. I am still in touch with them, like, and I think like I said, it was a great experience. I think I am at a point where I kind of want to do my own thing for a little bit. I am interested in joining, like, especially if COVID were to ever, like, I'm interested in jamming. I'm interested in playing with other people. I think there's so much I can learn from meeting other musicians. I think if anybody's in Chicago and like based in Chicago or knows good music spots, like, I just moved there. I'm in California right now visiting my parents, but if anyone knows any good music spots in Chicago, I did just move there a couple months ago, and I would, like, I would love to know. But that's kind of, like, I think like right now I'm at a point where it's almost like proving something to myself. Like I do think there's a lot of value in being able to say that, like, I worked on a song A to Z. Like, I like wrote the song, I produced the song, I played all the instruments. I think there's value to like just being able to learn that and like being able to have that as a life skill. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, just in terms of for self-improvement.
There's got to be plenty of options in Chicago. I've been to Chicago a few times. I lived in Minneapolis for a couple of years. So Minneapolis has an amazing music scene. I love Minneapolis music scene. It's killer there. And you've got such a great touring kind of track there to do things. All right, so the band broke up. How did you get through with everything breaking apart like that with COVID? How did you deal with all the stuff that happened with COVID? Because it was a crazy time. All of us handled it completely different. And because you talked about dealing with depression and stuff beforehand, did you feel yourself sliding back into that kind of thing, or what were your coping mechanisms through that whole period?
I think for sure, I think moving back in with my parents, I think we were all given like a couple days notice. Like, I ended up having to graduate at home. So I was class of 21, but ended up having to graduate at home, ended up having to just take everything. We were given like literally a couple, I don't know. I just remember COVID was like something that like people didn't take very seriously in December, and then in January, and then like all of a sudden in March, it became very, very real. And then I think it was like a Wednesday, and then all of a sudden we were told that we needed to go home by Saturday. And that was really fun to end up in that situation. But I do think like going back home was a transition for me. Like, I love my parents. And I feel so bad about the way I actually spoke about it. I do think they're supportive now. I do think they're maybe not as like something to take like super seriously, which is something a conversation I need to have at some point. But I do think they're not, I do think like we have, I don't know. It's kind of like having not lived with my parents for a bit and then like going back and like feeling like like being 22 and then like all of a sudden being like, oh my God, I feel like a 14-year-old. Like here, I have a curfew. I need to get permission to hang out with somebody. I need to take the car. I need permission. Like it was completely, that transition was interesting. And I do think it was difficult to not have like, I guess like a friend community. I think I had a very strong friend group on campus. And I think like suddenly not having access to that was difficult. I think there was a lot of scary stuff. I think like COVID put everybody in a kind of like a very tense, scary mood. And I think that was, I don't know, it was difficult to transition into that. And it's still ongoing. So I don't know if there's like, I do think music helped as a coping mechanism there. I think music always helps me as a coping mechanism. I think I think I used all the free time I suddenly had from COVID as like an opportunity to like get that YouTube channel started, for example, and like just get something out there, make it public and like, I don't know, and like shut off my computer and be like, okay.
This is your YouTube channel. I'm showing it right here. So there's a link in the description, folks. Yes, so not only are there covers, are there originals on here, there's an amazing array of covers as well. So, and it's broad as well. This is what I love too. And I can't play covers because of copyright claims and stuff. But we have Closing Time, Ingrid Michaelson, Soldier. I couldn't believe you did a Pixies song. Holy shit, I love the Pixies so much. I know. I love Pixies. It's awesome. Oh, yeah, they certainly are. Even though I'm not going to go into stuff that's gone down recently. So what I'm going to do now is, so you've got a Jupiter's Ocean track on here with the band. So I think I'm going to play that. And let's do that. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about how you make music as well, now and all this stuff. So let's jump in. We'll play this. We've had a chat about who the band are. So we'll be back, folks, really shortly. So kick back. This is an original track called Downtown by Jupiter's Ocean. And make sure my volumes are up and everything's good. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'll just get the video up. There we go. Let's do it.
Figure you out, you bet that I'm confused. I'm all out of face, I'm letting you out. Darling, just don't go now. I could be a good girl, just give me a chance. I could be a lone call. Darling, can't you see I won't let you down? Downtown, I could be alone, just see my eyes. If you meet me downtown, we're not really broken, we don't say it out loud. No, sir. I don't need your face, I'm lost my way. Can you make me feel alive? Don't know if I can love is the wrong to say. Can you meet me downtown? I could be alone, just see my eye. I bet you've been around. Darling, can't you see I won't let you down? can we don't say it out loud? Can you meet me downtown? I could be lonely, making me world. I bet you've been around. Darling, can't you see I won't let you down?
As Metalhead Hippie would say, boom. Let me get back the screen here. Awesome stuff. So that was Downtown. Look, and I see people writing in the chat there the word unique. All right, and I think that's what it was that I first heard your music when I first saw one of your videos on. I think it was GarageBand Users Group that I was like, now here's a woman with a unique voice that needs to be heard. So, I don't know what it's like.
Wow.
I put you in like.
Thank you.
It's interesting when I look for artists, especially female artists. My tastes are very much like Björk. It's always a very unique voice that has to drag me in, because there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of voices out there in this world of music, and your voice is very unique. I want to know from going from that experience of playing in a band and doing stuff like that, where do you want to go from now? Like, what are the tools that you use to actually make your music now?
That's the tools. Yeah, I think like where am I 5 years?
No. I didn't mean 5 years. I didn't mean 5 years from now. I just like, where do you want to like take your music, and how are you actually going to make music? How are you making music right now? What are you using to make your music, to record?
Yeah. Super simple at the moment. It is evolving. But I do think like when I first got started on YouTube, it was just turning on like a random the camera app on the iPhone and like just going for it. And I think that evolved to going on like GarageBand and getting a Blue. So I think right now Blue Yeti mic for the vocals, and just like Blue Yeti and GarageBand are basically all I've used with what I have so far. I am experimenting, I think, with adding other elements, but I think that's kind of all I have right now. It's super simple setup.
So you're using iOS to do music, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And so like it always interests me because and I'm not saying like simple to like create whole band experiences, but you do write very simple stuff. Like you and a simple guitar and a voice is more than enough these days. People think that maybe they need a band or anything like that, but there are so many artists who release music with a guitar and vocal, and it's enough. So I'm just curious at where do you want to take the music back to a band kind of thing, or do you want to keep doing just the guitar and vocal? Because here's the deal. All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. During that clip there, I noticed there's a lot of footage of the band, and there was absolutely barely anything of you. And to me, your voice is the star of that music. All right. So I found even in that clip there that you were missing from there. So I think your voice is the star. So I think with your voice up front and center, like, do you want to take it back to a band? Do you want to have more music around you? How do you want to create music going forward?
So it's not, being in a band is something that I think I wouldn't be opposed to. It's something I'm definitely like interested in, I guess, like in the future, but I don't think it's something I should be doing right now. Just in terms of learning how to like write my own music, produce my own music, and like being able to say that I wrote something and made something A to Z. I want to be able to say that. I want to get to that before I explore the opportunity to potentially. I think like finding. I think the music video situation was just. I think like I just know that like a lot of this kind of sucks, and this might be that I don't understand really well, but I know that was a lot of like random music videos for bands. Usually the singer is like so front and center, and I feel like something like Maroon 5, like there's like Adam Levine, and like you could just put like 10 other guys, and like I'd believe you. And like didn't want that situation with my band. I think like they showed up to rehearsal with me, they practiced with me. I know they were just as involved in the process of creating the song and having it all fit together. And I think like I really wanted. I also respect instrumental music so much. I don't know how to describe that, like just instrument. I respect it, and I don't think it was fair for me to take the spotlight with that video. So I made it so that my band members were, I guess, like focused on instead. So that was the story behind that.
That's so not a singer.
I know.
That's a really nice thing too. It's a really nice thing. But I think I think that you're the focal point of any band, that because your voice is so unique. That's what I think. Can I ask you as well? Is photography something that you are interested in yourself?
Yeah,
all right. Well, because all right. So let's talk about this now. So we'll get back to music. So most people will know the title of this show is called "I Make Music," right? So when I tried to do my research on this beautiful artist, all I could find on every profile, excuse me, was "I make music. I make music on YouTube. I make music," and I'm like, okay, there's nothing more for me to go from. So I had to try and listen to your lyrics. I had to try and like look around at the things that I could find to try and make up a profile for me to talk about. Yes. And I think instead of me asking you about like, how come you don't have a profile or have a bio, I meant, it made sense to use that as a title. Yeah. But while I was trolling around looking at your Instagram, I came across your photos on Instagram. Was like, are these your photos? Because you look like you're into photography. So that's how I came to that conclusion.
It's a hobby. I don't think it's something. Oh my God. I love photography. I think there's a lot of. It's just something fun I do. I really big fan of. I have to, as a Californian, big fan of In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, I think it's just kind of.
I love your photos.
It's not something
immediately when I saw them, I'm like,
so
no, they've got a real vintage. There's a real, I don't know. There's a real vintage feel about them, like that Starbucks one. There just is this. Yeah, it's just something I pick up because look at these. I love this one here too, this city shot. I'll bring this up as well. So you probably didn't expect I was going to do this, did you? So there's some beautiful photos in here.
No, not at all.
This show's always full of surprises. And your Instagram, there's a link to it in the description. Look at this. Look at these photos. There's a great mixture of photography in here. And it is. Ed Zielinski's written here, photography is a great way to communicate and tell a story. And it makes sense that you have such really cool photos. So tell us, was this something you got into at college? Tell us your story, how you got into all this, into photography. And
This was before. Oh, there's the U2 album I bought. But I think I found it in the store. I took a picture and I went for it. But I don't think it's not related to college. It's not related to music. This is just something I like to do. I don't know what else to. It's just something. I think there's a lot of. I think like the reason why I started photography, and this sounds really stupid, is that like there's not that many. My mom and dad don't have a lot of pictures together. of when they were young. It's kind of like a baby photo, and then like, ooh, like they're 45, and then, like there's like the in between. I would have really liked to see. Like I hear stories about it, and I think like I don't know. It's just kind of like life only moves in one direction. I think it's important to record that, and that was kind of like the reason why I think I started getting into photography. But yeah, also, yeah, I see the comment. Raccoons are my favorite animal in the world. I friggin' love raccoons. Yeah, they're gonna make a cameo. They're in a cameo in the downtown video. They're gonna make a cameo wherever I go. Like, yeah, that's kind of.
So you have the tools, and what I'm getting at, why I wanted to go back over here to the photos too, is, and now we're going to shoot back to the story of music. So ultimately you have GarageBand, you have the tools to actually make music, plus you have the skills for photography. So I'm leading up to, when are we going to get some recording out of this GarageBand that you have on your iOS device? Do you have plans to record something, an EP, something serious into GarageBand? You've already got that Yeti mic. Do you have an audio interface? This, I want to know, are you going to give us something to purchase, to listen to have on my Apple Music? That's what I want to know from you.
Yeah, that would be the dream. If that were to, I guess, like be perfectly honest about like my long-term goals and stuff. I think it's very scary just because it feels so far away at the moment. But yeah, no, I think the dream would be to record an album, like, I don't know, more polished album, or EP or something that's like on Spotify or Apple Music. That would be a huge like thing for me.
So you have an audio interface, yeah, to go into your iPad?
So I have a Scarlett. So that just started using. So I'm gonna make a partner, Wesley. Wesley, I think he's watching. He's gonna make a call out. But I could like bring it up. I could all. Hi, Wesley. I could bring it out. Like he painted it for me. It was actually very cute.
Yeah,
if that's okay, I could bring it over.
So you guys know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yeah.
I don't use it really well, but I think like I just got started. I don't know if this is even going to show.
Go full screen.
But it has a raccoon.
Of course, it's got a raccoon on it.
Who's this going to show up?
Oh man!
It has a raccoon and a.
Man, these green screens that,
am I holding it
bloody these green screens that Skype provide are terrible, aren't they?
Okay.
So you've got a Scarlett, you're ready to rock. You've actually got the tools to start doing it. So I don't know how often. I don't know how often you watch this show or how often you watch Pete Johns, but there's plenty of channels out there that are going to show you how to do it, because how to use that. And you've got GarageBand. You basically just need to plug it into your device. And, I think I definitely want to hear some music out of you. So you have all the tools. It's not that far away, and you don't need all the recording studios and all that jazz. So I'm really glad that you do have all that stuff. You've got the Yeti mic. That's more than enough, because I've heard people record EPs and stuff where they're just using the microphone on their Apple headset, and it sounds sick. Yeah, there are people doing that all the time, So if you've got the plug to plug it into your iPad, that's all you need to do. And you've got a guitar and a guitar lead, so boom.
I didn't know people use. I thought like people were going into studios. This is insightful. I think, yeah, the ultimate dream would be able to have a more polished track. So if I have the tools, that would be really, really cool to get.
So I'm going to this is an informative show as well. So you've got the Scarlett. Basically, the main things you need to do this, and I'm not trying to do any promotion here by showing this. Because I have a gear guide. Now, I'm not actually doing it to get people to go to the gear guide or anything. That's definitely not the intention here. But something like a powered hub, a powered USB hub, and I'll show it here. Let's see if I can bring the screen up. No, I don't want to do that. Don't want a YouTube channel. Let's go back here. I'm trying to do all this on the fly. Where we go? Let's go US. Boom. done. So that is a powered USB hub. So it has a power supply.
Okay.
And from that, you plug into the port of your iPad if you've got an iPad or an iPhone. With I don't know what you have. What do you have? An iPad or an iPhone?
I have a MacBook.
Oh my God, you've got a MacBook. Laptop. So there you go.
Yes.
You can plug that in. So you can plug an interface straight into the MacBook via USB, and that's it. Plug your guitar into that Scarlett, and you're good to go. You're good to go.
Is GarageBand enough? Is there? I was told that I do need I've been told multiple times that I need to upgrade my DAW and Logic, Ableton.
Don't
really?
believe that.
Okay.
That's crap. You have GarageBand. There's plenty of channels out there that show you how easy it is to set up. Sure. You have GarageBand. It is enough. The last few things I've recorded and put out were all just done in GarageBand iOS. Many of us here on this channel use GarageBand iOS or GarageBand Mac. It's enough. Don't listen to the noise, because you have all the tools to do it right now. Just with that Scarlett alone, your Yeti going in as well as a microphone, you're good to go as it is. So that's. Oh, am I a bit low today, Mars? There you go. Sorry about that. You have all the tools to do that. And I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything like this on this show, because I want to hear you make music. I want to hear you dump stuff and put stuff out. Dump stuff. That sounded terrible. I want to hear you dump stuff. What the hell am I talking about?
slap some lyrics on.
You're a part of GarageBand users group. You see the amount of music that people put out on there using GarageBand, and it's increasingly getting higher and higher quality. And the thing is, it's not that people are using better gear or better doors. It's just people are getting better using GarageBand. And and look, everybody in the chat's going apeshit right now. Going, don't listen to them. Do it. Everyone pretty much records with that sort of gear that you have. Nothing more needed. iOS and GarageBand. Saw you need me. So everybody agrees you've got all the stuff to do it. So, and that's why I do these shows, why I have interviews with you, someone like you who doesn't have music out or anything, or just has a YouTube channel. I want you to go the next level. I want everybody to go the next level and get better. So I've had my rant now.
I would love to.
I'm sure you're going to.
I would love to. Thank you for the motivational speech.
I can see, and I'm sure everybody here saw today, that when you were talking about being in a band before, the passion that was coming out of you, it was so passionate.
Yeah.
It just makes my heart sing to hear people talk about music like that. And, you've got an incredibly unique voice. I'm going to say it over and over again till the cows come home. All right. So let's talk about with what you have now. Are there any apps that you currently use?
Yes.
To make music? Just GarageBand?
No, it's just GarageBand, iMovie. I've played around with Reaper. I have played around with Ableton Lite, because it came with my Scarlett.
Ditch it.
But that's kind of all I'm at now.
You don't, that Ableton that comes with everything you buy. Trust me, if you start buying gear, Ableton comes with everything. Just take that disc and put that in the bin. Yeah, put it in the bin. Really? You don't need it. So yeah, definitely. If you're just using GarageBand, you know what? Here's the thing, and we can talk about this now. I do a show called How to App on iOS, and all the time, people may be surprised that I do say on the show, we're looking at a new app today, but you know what? You don't need to buy this app. It's not going to make if you don't need this app, you fully don't need it, don't buy it. Don't waste your money, because even Pete John says it all the time. GarageBand already has all the tools you need, so you already have everything. So I'm glad that you're not using any apps, because you don't need to. You already have everything right there in front of you, which is awesome. And
wow.
You know what? Let's play another track. No, we won't do that. I want to. So, how long has your YouTube channel been going for as well? I wanted to find out.
Technically, I've had it since 2011. But like, in terms of uploading things, I guess seriously, it's only been a year.
And I can see by looking at here, you're doing pretty good for a year. You got 312 subs. So that tells me that there are people actually engaging with your music and wanting to hear more about it. So you're in the perfect place to actually release music. I'm going to keep driving it home because
Oh my.
I'm going to, you know what? What else? All right. So I'm probably going to play a song now because I want to actually play two more. So we'll come back. We'll play this one. There's another one I wanted to play, which I thought was really nice. I'm going to play this one. This is called What You Need. Metalhead Hippie says in the chat, I was her 315th sub. Hit her up, people. Exactly. Sub her up, folks. So this song I'm going to play is from about a year ago. And this is called What You Need. And I think this was the first song that I heard on your channel. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Hang on. Let me make sure I'm playing the right one. Yeah.
It was the first song that I uploaded.
And I just want to play it because it's only a short song, just to show like where you've come from. Because I think it's always a good thing to see where you've come from, to see compared to your latest song. So let's just do it now. Guys, this is What You Need. You ready? Boom. Let's go.
I'm losing my mind, walking the walk, I'm going nowhere. Take what you need, just what you need. Where did I go wrong to be losing it all? And I don't know where to begin. All alone through the veins of the skies. Do you mind? I swallow my pride, I never let it go. The world is yours, why don't you push me out? Don't stop, just look away. It's the American system, living in a box. One was the rest of. Did I lose it all? Spend some change, leave me out, trade your face. Take me out, lose your mind.
As Ed Zielinski just wrote in the chat, it's all there. It's just bigger and with more instruments now. I don't even know why I read that one, but very hard. Look, again, you've got a there's a soul to your music that I really can't wait to hear explode and get bigger. So I hope this interview today and having you on here can contribute to you getting to your next level where you need to go musically, because I can't wait to keep following what you're going to be doing. I think you're an incredible artist, and I'm super excited to see what's next for you. And so that is no problem. And that's why I reached out to you. And I wanted everybody within this community that I have here, I want everybody to hear it. And you know, that's just the way it is. All right. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I think Bear's written in the chat. He's asked, what type of guitar do you have?
Oh, it's a Fender Mustang. It's the same bar that Kurt Cobain had.
Nice.
And yeah.
Nice. There you go, Bear. There you go. Jenny writes, I love her. There you go. Jenny loves you. So I think we've all fallen in love with you today.
I love you
So
too.
I'm going to hit you up with the last question, and I'm going to play one more song, and we'll call it a show for today. Sure. I ask everybody this question, and I always feel weird when I ask it because it has a pretty standard answer. If someone was considering becoming creative, making music or whatever, when would you suggest to them to be the best time to do it?
No.
It's a trick question.
No. I'm sorry if I'm giving a basic answer, but literally no better time. I think like just listening to this, like I'm impressed by how scrappy it is. Almost like I think when I listen to my old music, there's like even older songs back when I wasn't consistently, I guess, like uploading. I think there's like some that I just took off recently, but it's very young, and I think in that like resilience of youth, like I didn't have resources, but I made it happen. I think I just used whatever was around me to just try to express who I was, express my music, and I think I don't know. I'm an indie artist, and I think like I'm still in a position where I don't have access to things, but like I think the feeling of needing to create, and I'm just so glad that I went through the process of like, I guess just getting started, making that crappy GarageBand recording, making or like even before that, like making the phone audio, iPhone camera situation, because they taught me that you can make it work. Yeah. So now would be
and it's not a silly answer or anything. It is, and that's why I ask it, because it is simple. It is as simple as that. It is now. It's like the more you put it off, the more regrets that you have. So basically, you do have all the tools to start making music that is on a level of commercial music these days. You definitely have all of them, and I'm just going to put it out now, and I know we have a great community here. If you ever want to reach out to anybody, any of the people who make music within this community, anybody on my Facebook group or me at any time, you can always reach out if you need some help or anything with GarageBand. That offer is always there. I always spread myself way too thin and offer that to everybody, but it is there. So reach out at any time, because we're mates now. We're mates now. You can just reach out anytime. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Are we friends?
We sure are. And, everybody here in the chat would agree with me on that comment. And so let's call it a day. Folks, thanks for being here today. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show with me today. All your links are in the description to Instagram, YouTube. Go over and support us. Sub her up, as Hippie would say. Boom. Do all that stuff, because we need to support each other with our music. And today's what I'm going to go out with. Was there anything else you wanted to say to everybody while we are here on the chat before I wrap it up?
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Yeah, no, thank you. This was so cool. This was such a great opportunity. I hope to be back. I hope to meet all of y'all. But yeah, no, thank you so much.
You'll definitely be back when you release that EP or that first single that you do through DistroKid or something like that. I promise you right now, we'll have you back on and we'll talk about that and your experience of how you've gone since then. What I'm going to play is, so maybe this is a little bit self-indulgent. This is a track called My Starr. It's got my surname in it. So I'm going to play this and be a bit. So, folks, have a great day. Remember, Pete Johns is up in about half an hour's time. He's got an interview as well. I can't remember who he's interviewing. I'm so terrible with that. I may be back tomorrow with a morning show. I'm not sure yet. I think I will be doing a morning show, especially before YML. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thanks for your support as always on the channel. It's fantastic. I can't thank you enough, guys. Let me just load up this song. We've got this. So this is Yelysaveta and this is My Starr, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. See you later, everyone. Bye. If you just want to stay, you can stay on the call with me. You just keep on the call with me and I'll come back to you at the end of the show too. All right. Cool. All right. Bye.
Sure.
You're my star. Would you light my fire? You're so far. Wonder how this is my fault. You have my heart. Empty my thoughts into you. You're my fight. Every waking day I do, I try. You're my favorite star. Be my cover and do. Anchored your life to the moon. Crash and burn, you can retry. Darling, try. So darling, try.